Hey Chris, how's it going? I guess first off, just kind of what have you been able to do over the break before this, and how do you feel with these at bats that you've gotten so far this camp?
Oh yeah, I actually spent most of my time here in LA. Once spring training got postponed, I drove up here and pretty much been here the whole time working out. We got to come to the field for about a month and a half or so before we reported, so that was good. We got some live ABs in, and we got some good work in, and just been focusing on trying to take advantage of this time to keep improving and keep working on things, and make sure I'm in good shape for the season. And ever since camp's been going, I feel like I've been my body feels good, and I feel like I'm pretty ready.
Next question's from Ken Gurnick. Go ahead, Ken.
Chris, with the way the outfield lines up, have you been getting more work since you came back in the infield, or have you been worked out pretty much the same as you usually are?
Yeah, in games I've pretty much been short in second base. I don't know what the plan is for the season. I think that's usually how it works in most spring trainings for me. Even this spring leading up this year and the one before, I think I was at least 90% in the infield, and then they might stick me out in the outfield one game, like as we get closer to opening day. But this isn't really anything out of the norm. I'm not sure how it's going to play out in the season. I'm sure, even though I haven't played much outfield yet so far this spring, I've still been getting my work in BP, and I'm sure I'll find myself out there a good amount in the season, if I had to guess.
Next question's from Pedro Mora. Go ahead, Pedro.
Hey, Chris, that month and a half that you were coming to Dodger Stadium that you were describing, working out, what was that like without knowing, when, if ever, you guys were going to resume playing for the season, preparing for the season? Was it sort of like an off season? I know you've done that at Dodger Stadium in the past, or was it something different altogether?
Yeah, I think, I treated it like an off season, and I tried to, build on everything I had been working on, and I had a good spring training, so I was trying to build on that. And, it was definitely a different feeling not knowing when everything was going to start up. So you don't have that set date where we typically have like, hey, I got to be ready to go on this day. But, for me, I tried to just stay ready the whole time. And, it's definitely a relief knowing that we're going to have a season and all that work isn't for nothing. And, we're going to be able to actually get out there.
Mm-hmm. And knowing that this season now comes with the DH in the National League, hearing that news, what was that like for you with how crowded this team's position player group has become?
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be good for us. I think we have a very deep roster and a lot of really good hitters. So if anything, I think it's something we can take advantage of as a team. I know Doc's got a lot of options, and this is going to allow him some guys that they're not going to get worn out if they need a day. Instead of taking a full day off, they can DH or whatever he wants to do. So I'm sure hopefully I can get out there a little more too, get some more innings in with filling in for those guys that might get a DH spot.
Got it. Thanks.
A question from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Chris. It seems like a lot of attention has been paid to the way that the teams are going to maybe have to use their pitching staffs a little bit differently, just with the fact that, some guys won't be built up and some teams might, kind of just manage with a little bit more urgency. I mean, as a hitter, do you have an expectation of how differently, teams might use their staffs against you guys this year? Do you think it might feel more like almost like, like a postseason sort of atmosphere, and you're seeing maybe more guys and shorter starts and things like that, and how that might just change things over the course of the season?
Yeah, I think ultimately, I think you have to treat every game like a game, and anything can happen in a short season. With these, there's going to be plenty of options for teams to go to, and it's definitely going to be different. I don't know if the games are going to be longer, like a playoff game or what, but it's going to be exciting.
Thank you.
I have another question from Ken Gurnick. Go ahead, Ken.
You ordinarily would get maybe 30 minor league games before the first week of the season, and here you're going to get 3 against opposing teams. So, spring training is against opposing teams. So do you think that first week is going to be, to get up to game speed, more of an adjustment than it would during a regular season when you've had a whole spring training against opposition?
I really don't. I think, our inter-squad games have been, the intensity level has been there. I think you could argue even more so than a typical spring training game. I think the sense of urgency is a little bit higher, knowing that we don't have quite as many games to get going. And I think, overall, our guys did a really good job of coming in ready to go in shape. I think day one we had 6 or 7 innings. So, typically we build up to that in maybe the last couple weeks of spring training. So, I feel like everybody's in shape and ready, and we've been playing really good baseball on these inter-squad games. So, no, I don't think there will be an adjustment.
Thanks.
I have one final question from Ron Kavner. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, Chris. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons why this season's kind of a weird one. In your opinion, do you think in 60 games, the most talented or the best teams will still be able to rise to the top even before a playoff get there?
I have no idea. It's hard to say. If you look at the first 60 games of most seasons, it's not the same playoff teams that are at the end of the season. You look at the Nationals last year; they wouldn't make the playoffs. They ended up winning the World Series. So, like I said, anything can happen in 60 games, and we realize that, and we understand we have to be ready from game one. We have to play our best baseball from the get-go. We can't, kind of ease into it or whatever. Which, I don't think we ever do that, but the intensity level we have to be there 100% from the get-go, and we have to treat it like a playoff game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Or do you have another one?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, everybody.